What is up, my people? Welcome to another one. Let's talk about His and Hers, which is a TV show or a series in Netflix. It's about 6 episodes, and it's a mystery drama. Is what I like to call it. I think that's what it's called. It's a mystery drama. Um, and a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people like it. I was recommended it. Somebody recommended it to me. Um, because I actually liked another movie, and I had recommended another movie to this person, and it was the Rip with Matthew McConaughey and what's the other guy? Um, Jake Gyllenhaal, not Jake Gyllenhaal. Fuck. You know what I'm talking about. Matthew McConaughey, not Matthew McConaughey. That's not the guy. Fuck, I forgot their names. uh, but anyways, The Rip is it. I think it's a good movie. It's not like the best movie. There's certain things in the movie that I thought were kind of corny, kind of, but not enough to where I was like, this movie sucks or whatever. I think towards the end, you'll see what I mean. Like towards the end, it starts getting kind of wild. But it's there's action, so that's good. The thing about people, and this is what I want to get into, because a lot of people didn't like His and Hers, and His and Hers. Well, not a lot of people. Actually, a lot of people liked it, but there's certain people that didn't. Um, but His and Hers is more of a mystery than The Rip. The Rip is kind of like a mystery, and the reason they recommended His and Hers to me was because I told them that I knew who the bad guy was early on, and I told them how early in the movie The Rip I knew who the bad guy was, and I told them why. And she was impressed, and she was like, "That's crazy that you knew so early on." And then and then she said, "I wonder if you could do the same with this movie. I mean, with this TV show called His and Hers." And I was like, "His and Hers? I haven't heard of that." And so I went and I took on a challenge to see if I could figure out who the bad guy was in each episode. She gave me specific instructions. She said, "Watch each episode and tell me who you think it is in each episode." And I was like, "Okay, say less." So I get on Netflix, and I watch the first episode. And within the first episode, I knew who I had two main suspects, but I had one main suspect and I had one secondary suspect. Okay, the two main ones, they try to throw me off the scent. One of them, they kind of like never got to her until the very end. But I'm not even lying to you guys. I thought right off the bat that it wasn't these two. Okay, I took them off the block immediately. Because this is how I do it, guys. And I'm not saying that I'm a great detective or whatever, because it doesn't really take that much to figure these things out, and from my point of view, because I'm a big fan of detective novels, and also I'm a big fan of mystery dramas, and I enjoy those types of things, right? I even like the Knives Out stuff, even though Knives Out It's not necessarily that much of a mystery. It's more of a social commentary on what's going on in the real world, which is why I like it. And it's hidden within a mystery. So I don't take the Knives Out series that seriously as a detective. I mean, not sorry, a mystery drama or a mystery novel or show or whatever. I take it more as a detective drama because it focuses on the characters within the mystery more than it does on the actual case and the evidence and stuff like that. But you know, and there's different genres, by the way. There's detective dramas. There's detective dramas that's more like Knives Out, right? Mystery dramas that's like this show here, His and Hers. And then there's just pure mysteries. And the pure mysteries, those are evidence based. Those are, you keep getting clues as you go along. And there is drama, don't get me wrong, but it's not focused on the drama and it's not focused on the characters within the they do focus on them sometimes, but there's not the primary thing. The primary thing in a mystery is the clues that you get along the way, you know. And I just want to make that distinction because a lot of people, you know, can't tell between a crime drama or a mystery drama or mystery or a detective you know, a detective drama. So there is a difference. At least to me, it is. So it's like, for example, the detective comics where Batman detective comics. If you look at Batman detective comics, what you're gonna realize is that it focuses a lot on what the detective is thinking, which is Batman, what each criminal is thinking, and the character of each criminal. And yes, there's clues also involved, right? But they go deep into the psychology of each one of these evil characters or whatever. And it's the same thing with Knives Out, which is you go deep into the psychology of a lot of these suspects, you know. With this one here, you know, with His and Hers, kind of like the same thing happens, but the drama revolves around more scandalous things, like, you know, having sex outside of their marriage, you know, pretty much cheating on their spouses, cheating on their partners, stuff like that. And you know, the whole mess of who done it, right? Who did it? Now, this is what I do, guys. Okay, I put everybody that's presented to me in the list, and I do mean everybody. Okay, even the ones that the author wants me to see, and the ones that the author is hiding from me. Okay, and that's the main thing that helps me, is finding the voice of the director or the author. Okay, if this was a book before it was a television series, I mean a Netflix series, so that's what I do. So if it wasn't a novel, it would be a little harder, but it would still be easier because what I do is I put everybody on a list. Okay, Anna, Harper, they're on the list. You know, Lexi is on the list. You put everybody who's in the show is on the list. Everybody who's in the room is on the list. And then what you do is you divide it in 3 or 4 categories. You put, what is the person's religion? Okay, what is the person? I know this sounds weird, but just bear with me. What's the person's religion? Now, what I mean is, it's not necessarily, are they Catholic? Are they Muslim? Are they Presbyterian? Are they Buddhist or Yahwehist. It's not about that. Their religion is what do they get up in the morning and do religiously, you know? And each person is different. I have a friend who loves technology, and no matter what, he's always going to get the best tech. He's always going to be updated in the best tech. He's always going to try to get the best tech. And that's his religion, and I know that. So every time I think about my friend, I'm like, I know that his religion is tech. That's what he's on. He's all about the tech, right? I know somebody else who's all about church. They love church. Everything they do revolves around church, right? So what does that mean? That means that that's his religion. Other people love money, and they're all about making money. That is their main religion. They do it religiously every day. So that's what I mean by religion. Number 2 is their relationships. All right, who are their relationships around them? And that leads you into the third one, which is what are their status within those religions, and within those relationships, what are their status? Now, status it comes down to what people think about them and what they want people to think about them. What they wish each person involved in within the religion and within their relationships. What do people think about them, and what do they wish people thought about them? Okay, these are the 3 things. And then I add one more, I guess you could say, equation. And that is time and effort equal to outcome. Meaning, how much time and effort do each one of these guys have to put in to make the things that are happening happen? Okay. And right off the bat, I came up with a conclusion that, and this is spoilers. If you haven't seen it, you might want to cut it off here. That the 2 main people, that had it easiest, there was 3. The 3 main people that had it easiest to get away with it and had the least amount of effort to get away with murder was going to be these 3 people here: Lexi, Zoe, and Alice. The mother of Anna. So these are the 3 main suspects for me immediately. And it wasn't the one that the author was trying to push to my face. So the author immediately wants to make me think that Anna is the killer. She's the killer. She wants me, the author, whether it's a she or a he, I don't know. But the author wants me to believe, I think it's a she probably, just the way she writes. But maybe a he, I don't know. She wants me to believe that it's Anna. That's the first one. And the second one, she really wants me to believe that it's Harper, that it's Jack Harper. And she keeps pushing these guys in my face. And that's how I know that it's not these guys. Because the number one thing an author wants to do is throw you off the scent. So when an author pushes two people to your face, just know that it's not them. There's a possibility that it's not them. Now, they could throw you for a loop and do all kinds of things, but it's a big possibility that it's not them. All right? The author is going to bring minimal attention to the main suspects. Very minimal attention to them. And the same thing happened in The Rip. In The Rip, what you got was them really pushing the Matt Damon character. as the bad guy. I mean, they were really pushing him to your face. Matt Damon is the bad guy. Matt Damon is the bad guy. Right? For a little bit, they kind of made it seem like it was also what's the other guy's name? Fuck, I forgot his name. But anyways, I always forget his name, man. Like something about white actors that kind of look the same. They don't look the same, but it's just, bro, it's really hard if they don't have like a crazy like name or something like that. I just can't remember them. But they wanted to push those guys. Those were the main guys that they wanted to push. It's probably one of these guys. It's probably one of these guys, right? But there was gonna be a twist. All right. Now, how did I conclude with these three here in the first episode? But the main one was Anna. So it's very simple. You put them on the list that I told you. Okay, what is Lexi's religion? Lexi's religion is to be a news anchor and to be the best news anchor. And that's the same religion that Anna has. Anna has that same, goal, the same fury to be a anchor. And she does anything to be an anchor, to be the main event. And so both of them are since the beginning, they're stuck in this competition with each other. So in my opinion, I had Lexi as a more likely suspect than Anna, because she was held in the shadow. They just showed her to me for a little bit in the beginning of the first episode. Towards the beginning of the first episode. And that was enough to put her on top of the list. She was number 2 next to next to Alice, the mother of Anna. By the way, it's in Spanish over here. It says Madre de Ana. I think that's Portuguese or something. The internet keeps thinking I'm Portuguese, which is weird. And Zoe was another suspect as well, because she also had it very easy. Meaning effort, plus time, and how that would equal success to get to her goal. She had one of the easiest routes to doing it. So did Lexi, and so did Alice, the mother of Anna. But why was Alex, the mother of Anna, the first suspect? Because of her religion. Her religion was them. They were her religion. Her daughter and her daughter's success and the love for her daughter and the love for Jack as well, because at one point during the series, she told Jack, go get her. Go get her and try harder to be with my daughter. Why? Because she knew that her daughter Anna was going to be happiest with him. And she wanted to see them together, and she wanted to see them together in her house. That was the whole goal. That was her religion. These two people together with a child, having a family, was her religion. And it just made the most sense. By going by those steps, it just made the most sense. And who was it going to be easier to do these things? It was going to be her, because she was supposedly dementia. She had dementia, right? And dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that, where she just forgets who she is and where she comes from or whatever, and then she just goes out naked in the middle of the rain. So that's how I knew in the first episode. Okay, and Zoe was my third option, but she only came later because of the friendship bracelets and the fact that she just looked weird, and there were some weird things about her. But then I realized she's too dumb to ever do this. And that's when I when I zeroed in on Alice and Lexi. Okay, but the number one was Alice still. Lexi, I started forgetting about her because she kept being left on the side. Then eventually they came around to talking about Alice and her past and what she did and how she's capable of killing and she's capable of doing, you know, the things that are happening right now. But then you start realizing that it's not her. That you were right. That it was definitely Alice. That's how I'm telling you how I came up with the answers early on, and how I usually come up with the answers early on, or within a movie or a series. Before halfway or somewhere around halfway, I know who the bad guys are. And this works in real life, by the way. It's easier in movies because there's the voice of the author. If you could find the voice of the author, and the good thing about this one is that it had a what do you call it? It had a narrator, popping in every once in a while, telling you, talking to you. But if you could find the voice of the author, you could find intent. If you could find intent, you could kind of figure out what the author is trying to do and what the author is trying to let you know, and then you can find out what he's not trying to let you know, and then you try to find out what he's hiding from you. And I do it all the time, guys. Even when things that are sacred, like the Bible. Okay, like there's stuff in there that you read and you're like, this is what you want me to think, and then there's stuff behind the curtains that you don't want me to think. I do it with everything. That's how I read, guys. I don't just read something and take their word for it, or if somebody says something to me within a book, or within, even in the news, if somebody says something to me, I take that and I'm like, this is what you want me to know. This is why you want me to know that, and that means that this other stuff over here in the background is what you don't want me to know. And now I have to figure out why you're hiding those things from me. So it's a little bit easier when it comes to novels. It's a little bit easier when it comes to TV shows and television series and movies and stuff like that. It's a lot easier because you could find the voice of the author and apply those techniques. But anyways, guys, I thought it was still good, even though I figured it out early on. It's still just a theory or a hypothesis, an educated hypothesis. Until you figure out the actual outcome, you could see if you figured it out correctly or not. And the drama was still good enough for me to stay hooked on it. Now, a lot of people are making a big deal of Alice being an old lady and being able to do these things. And they're thinking, and listen, was it kind of funny? It was kind of funny. But you got to understand, this is a fictional thing, okay? And old people have been known to kill. Okay, this is not a new phenomenon, number one. Number two, if it was believable for her old ass to be running around in the rain with dementia or what is it called, Alzheimer's. I really don't know what the disease is, but she's forgetting shit. Then why isn't it possible for her to do the same thing and kill people? Or be faking it and go out there and kill people. The only thing that I had a problem with is, did they even find the gown? They didn't find it. I will say this: it's hard to track people in the rain. Okay, it's harder to do that in the rain, especially if you're not wearing shoes that have tracks. Okay, shoes like Timberlands are easier to track in the rain because they leave more of an imprint. If you don't have shoes on and it's raining, which is why this was a slick thing to do for her. It's hard for dogs to find you. It's hard for dogs to smell you in the rain. It's also hard to track people in the rain because the mud, especially in the places where they lived near the forest, is going to be very hard to track her down. You know, so some of it was believable, some of it wasn't believable. But I don't think believable is a thing that I'm chasing when it comes to a fictional um, mystery drama. You know what I mean? It's fake, guys. It's just it's for entertainment purposes. And is it like the best thing I've ever seen? Like a lot of people are saying, no, it's not. It's okay. And I had fun with it. I wasn't expecting Oscars from any of these Netflix actors. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't expecting, and of course, a lot of these people are very good actors. I'm not, saying that then John Berthal isn't good, even though he plays the same character in every movie. What are you saying? What are you saying? Like that kind of stuff. and Tessa Thompson, I'm not a big fan of hers, but she was really good in this. Like I said, I'm not following her around like in her movies. I think she has a big forehead, and yeah, I don't know. uh, but at the same time, she did really good in this, dude. Like she was very good, and her mom, she was very good too. Everybody was really good in this series. I don't see how some people hate it, and it may be because of the social commentary behind classism, which is what I kind of got. But it was a very undertone thing within the series. It wasn't really the main event, So the fact that people are getting bothered because of that, lets me know that a lot of people are just a bunch of bootlickers that want to defend their little rich folks up there and don't want to be my lord. I will defend you, my lord, type shit. But anyways, guys, if you